Ladies and gentlemen, one of the larger commentary channels here on YouTube, Turkey Tom, is currently being accused of some pretty serious allegations. Now, some of these allegations are serious, and while others are a little just more silly, we're going to be talking about things like how allegedly he records encounters with women, you know what kind of encounters I'm referring to, and he would record them without consent. He has a just in case folder, which is basically just blackmail that he had on partners. And then apparently he's a huge gooner, right? I'm also a gooner, so I can't be too mad at the guy for that. And he's flown out several e-girls to, have these encounters with. And unlike most times we cover allegations on this channel where we're looking at a huge Google Doc or we're reading a Twitter thread, this is coming straight from Kiwi Farms, as a few of his ex-girlfriends have went on to Kiwi Farms and decided to post allegations as well as a lot of evidence and screenshots. Now, Kiwi Farms is a controversial website. This is not really me supporting them, but it is me crediting them because this is, of course, the website that I'm getting the information from. Now, for the most part, Turkey Tom's Kiwi Farms page was basically dead for a few days, at least until Sacramento89, who is apparently one of Tom's exes, posted this. Hi Kiwi people, I dated Tom for a few months after meeting him on Tinder. I'm not super into internet stuff and had no idea what Kiwi Farms was, but this page was always his #1 search Safari thing that pops up on iPhone when he went to Google something. When I asked about this website, he got super defensive and weird about it, so obviously I looked into it and found all of this crazy crap, like him admitting to being bisexual. Messaged the owner of the website, Joshua Moon, to get the code to post here. Basically, I started to get suspicious about all the e-girls he followed and interacts with, and he started raging at me. He also lied to me at first about the fact he does YouTube. He did some crazy crap like kicked holes in a wall at a house he was running because some e-girl who copies Belle Delphine got hacked, and the hacker was blackmailing him with his wiener pics. He continued to talk with her after the fact. I have screenshots confirming all of this, attached a couple, but I think I have more. This guy is a real freak and likes to record sexual encounters without asking first during almost every time. I know for a fact he's done this to at least one other girl. Serial gooner and has flown out several e-girls to sleep with. He told me he has a file on his computer called Just In Case that's basically voice memos or calls from his exes to blackmail them with in case they ever say something about him. Thought I would get the message out and confirm y'all's suspicions. Also, if this gets out, to warn other young women in the Texas area about this dude. And they included this photo of them with Tom. They blurred their face out, but they also included these text messages. Now, this is her texting Tom, saying everything good. Tom says, I don't know, I'll explain later, has nothing to do with you. Oh crap, scale of 1 to 10, how bad? Very, oh, I'm so sorry. An ex of mine got hacked basically, and some stuff is probably going to be dropped online. Photos, they emailed my family. Oh, bruh, it's okay. Is it? I have no idea. This has never happened to me. Is she the one who looks like Belle Delphine? Yeah, lol, that's the one. Yeah. Do you think my type is Belle Delphine, LMAO? No, like emo huzz of that nature. I would prefer you just dress normal, to be honest. I don't want to be with them anymore. It's better this way. Yeah. This crap kind of makes me want to This crap does kind of make me wanna unhero a little bit, but it's fine. I must count my blessing. What does that mean? End myself, basically. Not really, but like, dang, this is stressful and gay. Now, before I get too deep into the video, I think it's important to say I have no issue with Turkey Tom. As a matter of fact, like, I really enjoyed his work. When I was first beginning, like, my YouTube, like, journey, getting into the community of commentary and whatnot, he actually joined one of my lives one time and gave me a donation. So, like, I looked up to Turkey Tom, right? So covering allegations of like a creator that I enjoy is not fun, but I also have to be fair, right? Whether that's defending him on certain points or calling him out on certain points. That's what I'm going to do, right? I'm just giving a little context to like my parasocial relationship with Tom. And yeah, of course, these are some very serious allegations, but this person did end up changing their story up just a little bit or adding some more context that kind of makes the situation seem a bit different. Again, I don't think that there's really a problem with like flying people out and engaging in like intercourse with people, right? If you're consenting. Obviously, you shouldn't do that in a relationship. That's a moral thing, but it's not a legal issue. I'm going to be fair. You know, I've covered lots of people on this channel. I've covered Tom. I've covered other creators who I may or may not like who've been accused of certain things. And I'm always going to have the same feeling of, moral issues are not legal issues, right? Now, obviously, when we dive into things like recording people without their consent while you're screwing them, that's a lot different than just screwing lots of people, right? And having a basically a blackmail folder is also completely different than just screwing people and following a lot of e-girls and being a gooner. Now, this person, Kosher Farms, says if this is true and assuming you two met up, do you believe that Tom recorded you without your consent? More pressingly, can you provide more than a censored selfie and 2 text messages as proof of you dating Tom? Things that will help us verify you, like his Tinder profile or text messages, or anything anecdotal we can cross-examine with his internet presence. Most people here will be rightfully skeptical of claims like this being made against notable e-celebs without thorough evidence. More is always better. And then right here, Herbicide says, I understand that. Since you're already in contact with Null for a code, he also privately verifies people's identities. It looks like you want to stay anonymous. I don't know if he could privately verify that you guys were together without saying exactly who you are. Not to scare you, but if Tom's reading this, he probably knows who you are from the censored photo and messages already. Which, yeah, is a good point. Like, he probably knows who you are based on, like, your hair, based on an outfit you wore. So by just blurring yourself, I mean, it's smart to stay safe, especially if you're going to be sharing yourself on something like Kiwi Farms. Sacramento ended up saying, I'm not alleging anything illegal or saying it was revenge porn or anything. What I meant was he wouldn't ask before and proceed to take his phone out mid sexual activity to film, and sometimes I wouldn't notice until like 15 to 30 seconds after he started filming. I have no idea if this is illegal or not, but yeah, he wouldn't ask before. Reached out to an ex-girlfriend of his, he would do the same thing to her. The blackmail he has on his computer is phone calls and texts, I believe. Most of them are from his ex-girlfriend named Kai. That's an important character. Here's a picture from when we matched on Tinder. Don't have the messages from when we matched anymore. And so here is her Tinder message. It's a match. You matched with Tom. Now, the reason why that character Kai is important is because Kai is also a interesting woman in the commentary sphere, also known as Liam Donovan, aka Lerix's current girlfriend, who used to be an ex or used to be the girlfriend of Turkey Tom. Obviously, them breaking up caused a bit of friction, caused a bit of a drama between the commentary community that for the most part was relatively like behind the scenes. And it seems like now, years later, we're finally going to be getting more information on what exactly happened with this Kai character along with Tom. Now, this is an important question, honestly. Kosher Farm says, what's your main reason for posting to this thread? Why did you and Tom break up? Also post more screenshots. Sacramento says, the main reason I'm posting to this thread is to kind of warn people, mostly women, about this guy. The reason we broke up is actually because I mentioned this website to him and that I saw some crazy stuff about him online. His history with e-girls bothered me. His pic about the Belle Delphine type girl who was hacked. I'm suspicious of cheating because he did not block her after the fact, and apparently she was still talking to him. Here's more text message leaks. What really pisses me off is that I spent a week painting their poker table and outside using it as a beer dye table. It is cool. And he's basically saying, is it nudes or something, in reference to like pictures that are going to get leaked. Like, I just have to remember I'm a decent, pretty girl with a good head on my shoulders. True, you can press charges. Again, in context, if it's nudes, a lot more, it'll be fine. I mean, it could, if I could figure out who he is, yeah, it's like 7 pictures of me with my wiener out. Obviously, you know, things you don't want to end up getting leaked online, but yeah, for the most part, we haven't really gotten too deep into allegations yet. We do have the idea, the allegations of there being a just in case folder. That would be something that I think would have to, either Tom would have to come out and say like, yeah, this was a joke, or yeah, it is serious that I do in fact keep a blackmail folder of people I was in a relationship. Unless of course she's seen that. That's one of those things where it's going to be hearsay, what she says over what he says, blah blah blah. Now Kosher again Very interesting. Did he happen to say anything notable to you after you did that? Anything about the reputation of the forum? Were you specifically the one to break things off, or was it Tom? Also, were you aware of Tom's internet presence before you started dating him, or did you find that out later? Like I said, he lied to me about who he was, but I figured it out pretty quickly, like on our first date. He said it was weird for girls he's dating to look at a gossip website, told me before that I should never look him up online. The breakup was kind of mutual, but I sort of crashed down on him about his past with the e-girls and the pee-pee pic thing, so I understand it. He could probably use my mini crash out during and right after our breakup against me, but everything I said was truthful. So it seems like this relationship must not have been very long. Also, it's really interesting to be a humongous content creator with millions of followers, with videos that have millions upon millions of views, making hundreds of thousands of dollars most likely, and kind of keeping that a secret. Like, I know some people who make controversial content probably don't want to share that online. Like, if they have a whole channel where they're like making fun of people, or like making fun of lolcows or something, that might be something that they kind of keep on the low, or like share it with like close friends or like people who have a good sense of humor and whatnot. But I don't know, Turkey Tom, Tom Dark, he's controversial to an extent, but it's not like he's like the craziest content creator of all time. Like, he's relatively popular, he's relatively known, and has lots of viral content. So to not reveal that, or be willing to share that with someone that you're planning on being in a partnership with or dating, is a little interesting. And also telling them not to Google you is also pretty interesting. Like, again, your career is a huge part of who you are as a person, especially when you're very wealthy. That's something you can't exactly keep hidden. And I think, like this controversial topics and whatnot, these things kind of have to come out sooner rather than later. Now, here we get into some more serious allegations. These ones involve abuse, saying, do you have any evidence that he flew out e-girls to sleep with? And Sacramento says, he told me this, it was before a relationship. He was hella careful about texting stuff, but I reached out to one of his exes I knew he was with. She's like an e-girl type, and she confirmed it. She has more evidence than I do. Sent me pictures of her face being bruised after going up to meet with him. So basically now we're getting into allegations of possible abuse, or possibly fighting, or maybe some play fighting. You know, maybe you got elbowed in the eye or something, right? We're talking about bruises. Obviously, there was physical contact at this point. So it just went from like a bunch of hearsay and possibly a blackmail folder and recording someone without their consent, to now actual possible violence being involved. But since this is a different ex, a different person that Tom ended up messing around with, I'm going to leave this one for a separate video. I'm going to keep going over what Sacramento ended up posting about now possible allegations of Tom messing around with girls who are into things like age play. So we're starting to get into the thick of it, I say. Now, this guy named Blue Kerbo said, has he ever dated any of those age play girls? I saw him follow a couple a while ago. And she says, the girl he sent dick pics to and got hacked was an age play / Belle Delphine type girl. I sent the screenshots about the blackmailer guy here earlier. He told me he went to meet up with her, but was too weirded out and went back home. Her account has actually been posted in this thread before. I believe it's CreepyHoarder. Now, this is CreepyHoarder's Instagram. She has 13,000 followers, so I don't think I'm doxing anyone here. I don't think I'm exposing any private information. This is a public page. I'm not following them, right? And this is what CreepyHoarder, aka Ellie, looks like. This is an adult, right? I don't know. She's attractive. This kind of like style's not really my type, but hey, you know, Tom has a type. She's legal. She's an adult. I can't really be mad at him. From the looks of it, yeah, she just really loves like Hello Kitty and pink and girly little kitty stuff. You know, I'm not really going to dive too deep into what age play is and like the implications of it and whatnot. Obviously, common sense would tell you that it involves playing with age. As a matter of fact, I was kind of like worried to Google this because Google would be like, What's this dude up to, right? Basically, age play is a form of role play in which one or more individuals acts or treats another as if they are a different age. They may describe a variety of role playing that involves a different age. In practice, however, age play usually involves one or more adults acting as young children. Age play generally focuses on the age aspect and its involvement in the role play, such as highlighting youthfulness, immaturity, or the taboo nature of one's age. So obviously, when we're talking age play, someone's not role playing as a grandma. Someone's not role playing as like a 90-year-old hag. It's usually going to be an adult woman who's role playing as a schoolgirl. So the man can get his freak on without pulling an Epstein, without pulling a Diddy, because he's technically doing it with an adult. Again, creepy, kind of weird. But again, this is going based on what Sacramento here's belief is of this person's account. Again, I think this is just a girly looking girl. It doesn't really mention anywhere here. Now, this guy Jandal ended up looking into this CreepyHoarder girl. And she has a whole bunch of other controversies and things that I don't really want to get into this video because almost 100% it'll get age restricted. Basically, she draws things like lollipop stuff, like the stuff Shadman used to draw. Apparently, she took advantage of one of her exes. She visits lollipop websites as well. There's a picture of her wearing a Bluey outfit. So maybe I was a little quick to jump the gun and say, yeah, I don't think she's into this age play stuff. I don't think Tom is, but yeah, that's kind of hard to argue. I'll take the L on that one. Like, I can acknowledge, right? Like, this is hot. She looks good, right? Like, her body looks nice. Like, this is clearly an adult with an adult body with an adult butt. But her history, the things that she engages in, it's not exactly a good look. And Tom choosing to interact with that is, again, his prerogative, but eventually her history, the things that she does, is going to be linked to him, kind of like we saw with like Mutahar, Nuxtaku, and anyone who involves themselves in messing around with this Shadman lollipop type stuff. It's not a good look. It's not a good look to be around or to interact with other people who are publicly also doing that. You can argue like, yeah, I don't care. She's just hot. She has a big butt. I wanted to send her my wiener. I mean, I guess, but then this is going to happen where you end up on Kiwi Farms and now people think that you're into girls who like to role play as kids. So now this is probably going to be the last part that I read for this video. Again, I will probably most likely make more parts about the different people involved in this situation. But Spooky says, sorry to hear this happen to you. Sounds like typical corn addicted gooner behavior. Does he have a gorn addiction? Was he into harder stuff? And if yes, when did you find out? Sacramento says he told me he was a corn addict in the past, but quit a couple years ago. I believe he replaced his corn addiction with filming other women during sex because he was unable to finish most of the time during sex, but only through watching the videos he would take. As soon as I confronted him about what I had seen about him online, he wasn't able to maintain an erection, and I think sex is just a huge ego thing for him. So basically, bro has to goon to himself. He has to watch his own films, his own Steven Spielberg documentaries to let one loose. He's really not putting that merchandise to good use. He has merchandise that literally says "Stop gooning," but from these allegations, he needs to follow his own sage advice, truly. And I think I'm going to wrap this video up right here. This is kind of just a part one because this is a long series. Literally since I started like editing this video, like 20 more pages of this Kiwi Farms thread have kind of filled up and there are more people getting involved, more allegations. Sacramento herself has basically said that she's not alleging anything illegal, just borderline creepy and weird behavior. And also based on some of the things I've shown, you could say, yeah, these are some pretty creepy things. Again, as I make part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, when I get through all 295, no, there's like 90 pages of this Kiwi Farms thread, your thoughts might change, right? I just want to know what you think down below about these allegations involving Sacramento. Pretty wacky stuff, guys. Stop gooning, like and subscribe. Bye.